Travis went good soul. So I guess I should do a video about the Senate passing the Respect for Marriage Act. They did reject all of the amendments that were proposed yesterday, one of which was Lee's that I did for you this morning. And Lee's bill would have been extreme. I was kind of wondering why he wasn't supporting the bill, as the church came out and said they supported it with their amendment passed. And but Lee's would have immediately started a holy war in the United States, because it would give any religious person the right to deny service, sales, and entrance into any place of business owned and operated by a religious person, or even if the person is one of the workers, they could refuse service, as we've heard about with the Colorado Baker case, California Baker case, the medical doctor that refused service for a baby that was adopted by a gay couple. And it's not just for LGBTQ that would need to fear, because this gives religions and Lee's religious individuals the right to oppose anybody. And so if you're a white Christian nationalist church that believes that blacks are the mark of Cain, you can deny service to blacks because you don't approve of their marriages. And that's what the church can now do once the House passes it and the president signs it. But Mormons can't yet. And they kept trying to convince us that it's already got it in the bill that the church can't weaponize this, that they already have their religious freedom. But the church is not a religion, it's a corporation. And so the news that you're hearing out of BYU about the abuses towards LGBTQ, and even with Roe v. Wade canceled, the rapes that occur at BYU and women who are victimized by the church for being raped, this is a pretty serious issue that our government is not taking seriously. They're not doing their research on the church and the threat that they pose to this nation. Because now the church would have to buy up all of the land and kick people out to ensure that Utah becomes theirs again. And so it's going to take them a little bit longer than if Lee were to do it. Because if Lee did it, Mormons wouldn't need to worry about the rest of the nation if Mormons are being persecuted because they're Mormon. I'm sorry, you can't enter into a restaurant, you're Mormon. I'm sorry, you can't come to the grocery store, you're Mormon. And Mormons don't think of this, what the church is doing here. But it allows Utah to completely own Utah, or the church to completely own Utah. And I can't get through to our government, I guess. They refused to accept it because without the church's amendment, the law already had protections for religion. We already have it anyway with the First Amendment. This bill was intended to protect LGBTQ and had to be generalized for all marriages. But with religions being able to deny, the majority of religions don't have the businesses that the church does. And so it's a sad day. It is not something that LGBTQ of Utah should be happy about. And it worried me. And I warned you back when the state of Utah allowed you to be identified on your licenses and IDs that you were LGBTQ and on your birth certificates, because now the church can see your ID and go, nope, sorry, we disapprove of your marriage lifestyle. This is what I warned. This is what they did in Nazi Germany. They first had everybody identified, and then when it all came down to the authoritarian rule, the identifications were used against people. And we're witnessing this transitional phase period as the Congress is about to approve the church to be like Nazi Germany in the state of Utah. So now you understand why the church has been building a lot of temples under Nelson, especially more in Utah, because there is no demand. And, they can claim that it's, well, we're trying to get the temples to everybody. No, you're not. You had no problem having us drive for hours to get to a temple, because you were telling us then that we had to make the sacrifice to go to the temple. And now you're wanting to make it easy for us? Please, whatever. But, yeah, it's a sad day, and I'm disappointed that nobody understands this. Because once the church takes over, I've warned you of what the church will do based on what they've been doing. They say that this bill does not allow for polygamy, but it is a marriage that the church approves of. Yeah, once they control all of Utah, they don't need the government anymore, and they will go to polygamy again. Nelson's already been setting it up in the temple endowment for you. So, yeah. I am surprised that Lee still didn't vote for it, just because he didn't get his addition put in. And I can only assume, as I did in the previous video, that it's because he already knew it was going to get passed. So, alrighty, I'm closing down for the night. I went out, cleared out my lungs, and it's the bed. It's the air. I just have the infections and I can't breathe. I gotta get out of this place, and they won't let me get out. They won't finish their investigation. They just leave me here to be tortured. And this place, for some reason, can't leave me alone. I found out that they were causing my internet problems here. It's an ARP spoofing device. It's a malicious device that does bad stuff to your computer, that they can shut you down, slow you down, all this crap. And I just found out tonight that, yeah, it's this place that's been causing me damage and harm. Why can't they just leave me alone? Why? The church. That's why. Because the church, with this amendment, makes it very clear. We hate gays. If you can't get that, if you're going to believe the lies of the press that the church now accepts gays, you're fooling yourself. Because the church can still say, no, we're not giving you service. We're not allowing you at BYU. We're not allowing you at the City Creek Mall. It's ours. We want our people who are temple worthy to work for us, to buy from us, to be educated from us. That's a good thing for education, because you don't want BYU. My brother, valedictorian at BYU, went on to the University of Michigan, had to pull the religion card because he didn't learn anything. But that's what the church is doing here. They're pulling the religion card on the laws of the land and the Constitution. And the government's letting them get away with it. And like I said, my brother is going to be a Nazi. The SS or the Gestapo, whichever one was in charge of checking people's IDs, that's going to be my brother. He works in the membership department. He will be Nazi.